He ordered $80 steak on my credit card. I turned his smart home against him. I was staring at a glowing UberEats receipt for an $80 surf and turf platter charged to my credit card, watching the delivery driver's GPS dot pull right up to the apartment I had been forced out of just 3 weeks ago. My chest tightened, a cold knot of pure, unadulterated fury twisting in my stomach as I realized my toxic ex, Derek, was buying a filet mignon dinner for his new girl using my money, sitting under the premium, automated mood lighting I had built from scratch. I felt the heat rising in my neck and my vision went blurry with rage as the audacity of the situation washed over me. I wasn't just paying for his romantic evening, I was subsidizing his new life in a high-tech paradise that I had engineered with my own 2 hands. Derek and I had been over for nearly a month, a spectacular, bridge-burning collapse of a relationship that ended with me packing my life into a rented van while he stood by the door, arms crossed, wearing that signature, insufferable smirk. He was a mid-level finance bro who practically lived in quarter-zip sweaters and operated under the delusion that his baseline mediocrity was a gift to the world. Throughout our 2 years together, he had relentlessly mocked my career as a high-end home automation specialist. Whenever I spent my weekend soldering custom circuit boards, writing automation scripts in Python, or perfectly calibrating the ambient light sensors in the living room, he would roll his eyes. He called my entire life's passion a glorified electrician's hobby, endlessly sneering that my routines were just useless toys for people who couldn't handle real life. Yet, when the lease was up and the dust settled, he refused to let me dismantle the system. He threatened to drag me into a protracted legal battle over the security deposit and the fixtures of the apartment. I was exhausted, emotionally drained, and desperate to escape his constant gaslighting, so I walked away. I left behind a fully integrated, voice-controlled ecosystem that I had spent thousands of hours perfecting. I later heard from a mutual friend that Derek had been bragging at a downtown bar, telling his frat star buddies that he kept the tech in the breakup, acting like he had conquered my domain. He honestly believed he had won. Derek, a man who barely knew how to restart a router without calling his ISP and crying, assumed that because he had logged into the Xfinity portal and changed the Wi-Fi password to some unimaginative variation of his favorite sports team, he had successfully locked me out of the system. He fundamentally misunderstood the architecture of the beast he was living inside. He thought Wi-Fi was the brain. He didn't realize it was just a superficial limb. I didn't need his Wi-Fi. As a professional who installs these systems in multi-million-dollar estates, I never build a network with a single point of failure. Before I moved out, I had quietly hardwired a hidden cellular backup bridge into the master hub, discreetly tucked away behind a false panel in the utility closet. It ran on a dedicated 5G data plan that I paid $10 a month for, designed specifically for remote maintenance and emergency firmware flashes. I still had absolute, root-level access to the entire apartment. Every light bulb, every thermostat, every motorized blind, every speaker, and every smart lock was still listening exclusively to me. Furthermore, months prior, when he had a habit of losing his things and blaming me, I had meticulously sewn waterproof smart tags deep into the lining of his favorite leather gym bag and hollowed out a tiny cavity beneath the insoles of his prized Yeezy sneakers. Those tags pinged an encrypted server I hosted offsite. As I sat in my new, cramped studio apartment, watching the UberEats charge clear my bank account, I pulled up my tracking dashboard. The sneaker tag was stationary by the front door. The gym bag tag was in the bedroom. He was home, he was comfortable, and he was completely oblivious to the fact that he was existing inside a digital cage of my own design. Before the sun would even think about rising over the city skyline, Derek was going to experience a masterclass in psychological warfare. I was about to turn his high-end sanctuary into a pulsing, freezing, screaming nightmare. Over the next few hours, he was going to watch his luxury plumbing turn against him, face down a household appliance that sounded like a horror movie prop, and have his own toxic, unfiltered thoughts broadcast live to the very woman he was currently trying to bed. To watch full story, kindly follow on-screen instructions.